Welcome to the Lagos Real Estate Insider Podcast, the number one podcast dedicated to helping you create wealth, investing in real estate, and live a world-class life while making a difference and impact in the lives of people. I am your host, Idris. On this podcast, I share insight to the real estate market, advice and strategies for investing in real estate, and some of the latest real estate investment opportunities. I also share some motivation and inspiration for taking your life to the next level. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and let's dive in. Hello insider investors, it's Idris here and welcome back to another episode. I am super excited for today's episode because I'm going to be diving into the next real estate investment outkick of Lagos, Nigeria, which is Ibeju Lekki. So for the past few years, Ibeju Lekki has been on the rise and it is finally the outkick of Lagos real estate investment. Today I want to share from investor point of view and the best deals going on right now that you can take advantage of. So if you've been thinking about investing in Ibeju Lekki or any other area, in this episode we're going to dive into how to invest in Ibeju Lekki, the opportunity, the potential, and more about Ibeju Lekki. Starting with the overview of Ibeju Lekki and its investment potential. Ibeju Lekki is a local government area in Lagos, Nigeria. It's divided into two hubs. We have a commercial hub and residential hub. Commercial hub is basically where all the commercial activities take place. That's where mega companies are located and it is basically for commercial purpose. Residential hub is for residential purpose only. So that's one of the things that make Ibeju Lekki stand out. It includes both residential hub and commercial hub. You know, there are some locations in Lagos that they are basically for residential and commercial activity in those areas are very few. So that's one of the things that make Ibeju Lekki stand out because it includes both commercial hub and residential hub. So over the past decade, the area has undergone rapid development and emerged as the outkick for Lagos real estate investment because of industries and other opportunities. So there are several factors that contributed to the rise of Ibeju Lekki. Basically, it's because of the governmental support and infrastructural projects. So let's dive into them one by one. Number one, Ibeju Lekki is situated around the Lekki-Epe Expressway. Now, the Lekki-Epe Expressway is the expressway that connects various parts of the city. It is the same road linking all the major areas starting from Enquiry to Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2, Ibeju, Dangote, Aja, all the way down to Ibeju Lekki and Epe. So it's one of the things that make Ibeju Lekki a very nice location because of the Lekki-Epe Expressway. The second thing is the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The Lekki Free Trade Zone is like the international market where various people from international countries come to trade or come for commercial purposes. So it spans over 16,500 hectares and it houses several multinational companies. There are several multinational companies in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. So it is basically where most international companies are located and they come for, big transactions and commercial purpose. Number three is the Dangote refinery. Now, the Dangote refinery is what brings massive attention to Ibeju Lekki. Dangote is a billionaire and the top richest man in Africa. With his influence, since the refinery was proposed, it brought some attention to the area. When the refinery was proposed, it was like a dream. But finally, when the refinery was commissioned, it's like dream come true and it brought massive attention to the area. Now, the Dangote refinery has over 18,000 workers and Dangote can provide accommodation for all those workers, and definitely those workers will need a place to accommodate themselves and lay their heads after work. Now, as an investor, think about this. What if you can build a flat or a rental apartment around those houses? Think about it for a second. That will be a money producing asset for you, and here is why. When problem is created, opportunity for making money is also created, and when you solve a problem by providing a solution, people will exchange their money to get the solution from you. So as an investor, can you see the potential? Like, can you think about this? Now, what's the opportunity? There are over 18,000 people working for the Dangote refinery, and Dangote can provide all those 18,000 workers with an apartment. So as an investor, you know that demand is created, and when demand is created and supply is minimal, there will be increase in price. At the same time, when supply is massive but demand is minimal, there will be decrease in price. But in this case, demand for accommodation is definitely high. At the same time, if you want to look from lifestyle point of view, where you can provide something like recreational center or supermarket or hotel or anything that has to do with lifestyle, where people can relax, enjoy themselves, or have an accommodation, think about this. What if you can provide something related to this? Money is created, right? Do you think people will invest, or people will buy something, or people will exchange their money with you? Now, you may be thinking, okay, I'm not in a position where I can build something massive or where I can invest so much. But what if you can own at least a plot in Ibeju Lekki for the next few years? You can see that as an investor, you'll be making much money. So number 4 is the investment potential. Now let's talk about the investment potential of Ibeju Lekki area, and not just the Dangote refinery, Ibeju Lekki area in general. The average selling price of a plot in Ibeju Lekki right now is selling for 2.5 million naira. Again, the Dangote refinery is what brought massive attention to the location. Before the commissioning of Dangote refinery, Ibeju Lekki was selling for around 600,000, 500,000, 800k, and some people were selling for 1 million naira, 1.5 million naira. But since the Dangote refinery was commissioned, it's now selling for an average price of 2.5 million naira. In the next month and upper month, an average selling price will be 3.5 million naira, and I can guarantee you that by the end of this year, an average selling price of a plot will be between 8 million naira to 10 million naira. Now think about this. What will your money worth investing now, and how much money you can make before the end of the year compared to keeping your money in the bank? Now, if you keep your money in the bank, banks give you between 5.2% or 5.8%. Now, if you keep money in the bank, there is also chance of inflation. You know that for the past few years, inflation has been constantly rising. So when you keep money in the bank, it's basically as your money appreciates at a very slower level and inflation is rising against it, definitely your money is the same, or if you compare it, your money is nearly the same in value. But what if you can invest in real estate? As the inflation rise, real estate rise against inflation. So that's another competitive advantage. That's why I believe everyone need at least a plot in Ibeju Lekki. So if you are thinking about how can you get at least one, and is there anyone available, so I want to provide you with the best offer going on right now that you can take advantage of. The Valarie Annex estate is 10 minutes drive from the Dangote refinery, and it is an amazing estate with beautiful proposed features which include good road network, water supply, gym house, drainage system, lights, security, serene environment, and a lot more. It has the title Government Excision. And if you don't know what government excision means, government excision title simply means when a government collects the land from indigenes of an area, government will set aside a parcel of the land for governmental development purposes such as school, road construction, hospital, and other infrastructural development. So after the government have set aside some parcel of the land, the remaining one is given to original indigenes of the land for their residential purpose. The government does not want to, send away the original indigenes of the area because they need to benefit from their land. So the government give them back the remaining portion of it, and the title of the document is what is called government excision. This means that the land is free from any form of acquisition. Okay, so in Valarie Annex estate, 400 square meters sell for 2.5 million naira, and 550 square meters is selling for 3.5 million naira. Now if you can purchase outright with an initial deposit of 20%, you can key in a slot right now. And commercial plots sell for 8 million naira. For enquiry and inspection booking, you can call me on 070 44 08 68 68. Again, 070 44 08 68 68, or email me at realestatewithidris@gmail.com. Number 5, the Lekki Deep Seaport, the Lagos Smart City, and the Lekki International Airport. Again, Ibeju Lekki rapid development is basically because of the governmental support. Now, apart from the Dangote refinery, there are other mega infrastructures which also brings massive attention to Ibeju Lekki as a whole. So those mega infrastructures are set to revolutionize the economic landscape of the region and for Lagos, which further enhances its investment potential. Now Lagos is highly populated with over 22 million people. Now the old airport, which is Ikeja Airport, is always too congested, and if people want to fly, imagine someone living in the island, let's say from Aja. If you want to fly, you have to come down to Ikeja. That can take you a minimum of 2 hours. If the traffic is congested, it can take up to 3 hours or 4 hours. Now imagine someone spending 4 hours in traffic stress before getting to Ikeja Airport. That's one of the things that led to Lekki International Airport, which was proposed, and now the construction is ongoing, and I believe before the end of this administration the construction will be completed. There are also other mega infrastructures like Lekki Deep Seaport. All those mega infrastructures are what brought massive attention to Ibeju Lekki. So if you have been on the fence of investing in Ibeju Lekki, I believe with this it is time to go all in and take massive action, because the more you wait, the faster properties in Ibeju Lekki we appreciate. So I encourage you to take bold action instead of letting the fear of investing hold you down, because when you invest in properties, you are indirectly investing in the future of your family. Real estate is a generational wealth. It can be transferred from generation to generation. There are many people in Lagos who don't work. They basically rely on the generational wealth created by their parents and they inherited from their parents. So that's why you don't want to be too skeptical about investing in real estate, and by now you should be thinking about getting at least a plot in Ibeju Lekki. If you're enjoying today's episode, here are 3 ways you can work with me, support me, and this podcast. Number 1, share this episode with a friend, family, co-worker, or a team who you think will find it valuable. If you share it with any of those people and they find it valuable, they will thank you later, being the source for sharing it with them, which strengthens your relationship and help you take your relationship to the next level. Number 2, refer me to a friend who need a property or a guidance for their real estate investment. If you know anyone who need a property or want to make an inquiry, or you need a property and you want to make an inquiry, don't hesitate to contact me on 070 44 08 68 68. Again, 070 44 08 68 68, or you can email me at realestateWithIdris@gmail.com. Again, realestateWithIdris@gmail.com. And finally, number 3 is to help me rate this podcast on your listening platform. Whether you are listening on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, or any of your favorite platform, help me rate this podcast. And when you rate it and leave a review, it helps other people just like you discover the podcast as a very valuable podcast. Thanks for listening to today's episode, and I will talk to you in the next episode.